Hi, third grade. Hey, we're going to talk about lesson 19.1 that's in or from your blue book. Today, I'm going to talk about the vocabulary that it goes through and kind of make sure you understand. So with geometry, you have what's called a point. It's an exact position. Now, it does look like a dot. It's not a dot. It is a point. Make sure you know that. It is a point. In green here, we have what's called a line. Notice this line has two arrows, meaning that it goes on in both directions and it does not end. The arrow means it keeps on going. Now here in the red, we have what's called a line segment. The line has two arrows. This line segment has 2 points. But actually, these 2 points here are called end points. Okay, it's a part of a line, but it has 2 endpoints, meaning that it stops. Then in orange, you have a ray. A line has 2 arrows that go on forever. A line segment has 2 endpoints that stop the line, but an array has an endpoint and an arrow. So it's part of a line, it has 1 endpoint, and it's straight and it continues on in one direction. So this one is going to continue on to the right. And then one of the last vocabulary terms it talks about in 19.1 is an angle down here in purple. Now, an angle is formed by 2 rays or line segments, but this one's formed by 2 rays because look, it has an endpoint and an arrow. So here's a ray, they share that same endpoint, and here's a ray, forming an angle. Now, there are 3 types of angles talked about in this lesson. So, first off, in green, you have what's called a right angle. It is a perfect corner. Okay, a lot of times you'll see a little square here, means a perfect corner, and it's also 90 degrees. That's called a right angle. Now, in orange over here, you have what's called an acute angle. Notice it's smaller than a right angle. What I like to tell my students is that look for the word C-U-T-E, cute. Oh, and think about, oh, it's such a cute little puppy. Cute puppies are small. So it's smaller than a right angle, an acute angle. And then you have what's in blue, which is bigger than a right angle, and that is called an obtuse angle. So 3 types of angles. Right angle, which would be a perfect 90 degrees, like a perfect square corner. An acute angle, thinking that, oh, it's so cute, it is smaller than a right angle. And then you have what's called obtuse angle, which is bigger than a right angle. All right, guys, so taking a look at numbers 1 through 5, I have to draw a triangle on a grid paper like the one shown at the right. What kinds of angles does this triangle have? If you don't have a grid paper, you can put on a regular sheet of paper, it's okay. So I drew the triangle, and as I'm taking a look at it, I see 3 angles. With those 3 angles, I'm taking a look, I see a perfect corner, so that's going to be a right angle. Now, are these 2 right angles, obtuse angles, or acute angles? Are they bigger than the right angle or smaller? They are smaller, meaning they are 2 acute angles. So that triangle has 1 right angle and 2 acute angles. Now looking at number 2, what do you see? Is it a point, line, line segment, ray, or an angle? It looks like there's a line that has 2 endpoints. Remember, a line with 2 endpoints is called a line segment. Number 3, you have an endpoint and an arrow, meaning it's going on forever in one direction. Is that a point, line, line segment, ray, or an angle? Number 3 is a ray. Now number 4 has 2 arrows that go on forever in both directions. A point, line, line segment, ray, or an angle. But since it has 2 arrows on each end saying it goes on in forever, that is a line. And then number 5 should be the easiest out of everyone. It looks like a dot, but it's not a dot. It is a point.